Hello mathematicians. Today we are going to be going over lesson 11 from our Eureka curriculum, and we're going to be learning about factoring expressions. For the first part, you're just going to follow along with me and watch and try to answer questions as I ask them. And when I tell you to, then you will get out your sheet of notebook paper and do some of the problems along with me. I thought this lesson would be better as a video so that you could go at your own pace, you could pause, you could go back and look at it because factoring expressions is an important skill and it is something that might take a couple of practices and extra time for some students. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to use the model to answer the following questions. So we can see that this is a bar diagram that they have created. And we have this section of 5, this section of 5, this section of 3, and this section of 3. Up above, you can tell that they've written an expression to describe these as 2 groups of 5 and 2 groups of 3. So our first question is, how many 5s are in the model? Hopefully you said 2. There are 2 5s in the model. How many 3s are in the model? Again, hopefully you said 2 because we have 2 3s. What does the expression represent in words? So in words, which is kind of what we worked on Friday, this is the sum, or when we add these all together, of 2 groups of 5 and 2 groups of 3. What this expression up here means is that we're going to add together 2 groups of 5 and 2 groups of 3. What expression could we write to represent the model? Well, again, it would be 2 groups of 5 plus, there's the sum, 2 groups of 3. So that is one way that we could write that expression. Next, it says use the new model and the previous model to answer the next set of questions. So now this is the new model. We have a 5 plus a 3 and a 5 plus a 3. So they ask us how many 5s are in this model. I hope again you answered 2 because we still have 2 5s in this model. How many 3s are in this model? Again, I hope you answered 2 because we have a 3 here and a 3 here, which means we have 2 3s in the model. So now, what does the expression represent in words? This expression represents 2 groups of the sum of 5 and 3. Because we have this group of 5 and 3, this group of 5 and 3, so we have 2 groups of, and the sum, 5 plus 3. So see how we have 2 groups of 5 plus 3? What expression could we write to represent this model? 2 groups of would be 2 groups of the sum of 5 plus 3. So here we have 2, it's juxtaposition, so that tells us that it's multiplication, or groups of what's inside of this parentheses, 5 plus 3. Our next question is going to be, is the model in part A equivalent or the same as the model in part B? So they're asking us, are these 2 models the same thing? And the answer is yes. They're just in different positions. Here we have a 5 and a 5, just like this 5 and this 5. Here we have a 3 and a 3, just like this 3 and this 3. We have used the associative property to move the pieces around, and the commutative property, because it doesn't matter if we do 5 plus 5 and then 3 plus 3, or 5 plus 3 and then 5 plus 3. We're able to move those around and still get the exact same answer. So then it says, what relationship do we see happening on either side of the equal sign? Because this is equal to this. So what do we see on this side of the equal sign compared to this side of the equal sign? Well, on this side of the equal sign, what we see on the left-hand side is 2 being multiplied times 5 and then times 3, and then we add those two products together. So 2 times 5 would be 10, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Then we add those together to get 16. On the right side, what we see is that we could add together the 5 plus 3 first, because that expression was 2 groups of 5 plus 3. So on the right side, we add together 5 plus 3 first, which would be 8, and then we take 2 groups of that 8 to also get 16. So either way, we get 16. So those are equivalent. There are just two different processes that are happening there. So the final question says, in 5th grade and in Module 2 of this year, you have used similar reasoning to solve problems. What is the name of the property that is used to say that 2 groups of 5 plus 3, this right here, is the same as 2 times 5 plus 2 times 3? So what property explains that? And the answer would be the distributive property. Distributive. The distributive property tells me that I can either follow the order of operations and do 5 plus 3 first and then multiply by 2. So 8, then 2 times 8 is 16. Or, and this just depends on the situation, which one is better or which one works best. But we like to have lots of different tools in our belt to be able to have options as we're solving different things. And it'll come into play in algebra that you'll notice as we get further and further into algebra. Or we can distribute the groups of 2 first, and I like to think of distributing as passing out groups of 2. If you think of a Pepsi distributor or a Coca-Cola distributor, they go around to different stores and they pass out the products. So in this case, we're going to pass out the groups of 2. So we have 2 groups of 5 that we will pass out and 2 groups of 3. It's really important when you're doing the distributive property that you pass out the groups to both numbers. Again, going back to our analogy of the Coke distributor or the Pepsi distributor, if this is Hy-Vee and this is Price Chopper, he has to take the products to both stores. You can't take the products to just one store because the other store will get pretty mad. So you have to pass out the groups of 2 or distribute the groups of 2 to both items. So if I distributed 2 groups of 5 first, that would be 10, plus 2 groups of 3 would be 6. Then I add those together, I still get 16. So the distributive property allows us to either add first, then multiply, or pass out the groups of 2, then add together. Either way, we will get the same answer. So that is the distributive property. Now let's look at the distributive property as it's used in algebra with variables. So again, you're just kind of following along with me still. We will take a look at this example with variables, and you're not going to discuss the questions with your partner. You're just going to discuss them with me during this video. So first of all, it says, what does the model represent in words? So in words, what this means is A plus B plus B. So A plus A plus B plus B. We're adding A to A and then adding a B and a B. It could also mean 2 times A, or 2, I like to think of it, groups of A plus 2 groups of B. And that's this part right here. That means 2 groups of A, and this means 2 groups of B. What does 2A mean? 2A means that there are 2 A's or 2 times A. It's juxtaposition, and we should really be using those dots now. 2A means 2 groups of A, 2 times A. How many A's are in the model? Hopefully you know there are 2. How many B's are in the model? Hopefully again you're able to answer 2. Now they want us to write an expression that would represent this model up here. So since there are 2 groups of A plus B, we would write that as two groups of A plus 2 groups of B. That would be the expression that would represent this bar diagram or tape diagram up here. So now let's look at this model that is with variables as well. So now we have an A plus a B plus an A plus a B. So how many A's are in this expression? 2. 1, 2. How many B's are in this expression? 2. 1, 2. What expression could we write to represent this model? In this case, what we have is 2 groups of A plus B. So we would write that as 2 groups of A plus B. And it says, are the 2 expressions equivalent? So is 2 groups of A plus 2 groups of B the same as 2 groups of A plus B? And the answer there is yes, because we could distribute this groups of 2 here and get 2A plus 2B, which is exactly the same as what we started with here. So this is the distributive property, and we can either start here in the simplest form and expand it out here, or we could start with the expanded form and move to this simplified form. And so that's what we're going to practice next. And this is where I'd like you to go ahead and start using your sheet of notebook paper. So I will use one as well, so you'll know exactly what to write on your sheet of notebook paper, because what I write on mine is what you should write on yours. So for number 1, we're going to use the greatest common factor and the distributive property to write equivalent expressions. So if we start with 3F plus 3G, we need to use the greatest common factor that F and G have and pull it out to write it using the distributive property. So I notice that they both have a 3 here, so their greatest common factor is going to be 3. So I simply pull that out. So I know that I can have 3 groups of F plus G. Again, I could test this by distributing these groups of 3 here. 3 groups of F plus 3 groups of G is the same thing that I have right here. And you can think about it visually as thinking of it as here's 3 F's plus 3 G's. So I can either say 3 groups of F, 3 groups of G, or I can say there's 3 groups of F plus G, which just would be rearranging it so that it's F, G, F, G, F, G, and we have 3 groups of them. So you can see it visually both ways, and you can hopefully see how we're pulling out that greatest common factor. Now you'll need to go to video 2 to finish the rest of this lesson.